Hello and welcome guys. Am I audible? Am I visible? If yes, let me know. Yes, some trouble with the mic, but now it's all sorted. So am I audible? Am I visible? If yes, let me know and let's continue lecture number 4 of CAT fundamentals. We will be talking about discriminant method. So guys, ready? Yes, audible. If yes, give me a hi in the chat or yes in the chat. All right, so guys, just let me know a little bit about yourself. Have you been following this series, or you are from the MBA Hindi channel, or you have taken up a batch with MBA Hindi, maybe Pioneer or Elite, anything like that, or this is just your first class? Let me know. If you're from YT, just write down YT. If you are from a Pioneer batch, write down Pioneer. Pro batch, write down Pro. Let me know. All right, Sangram, we know you, of course. Okay, perfect. Audio video clear, perfect. So guys, today we are going to talk about discriminant method, right? Algebra. We have done 3 classes of equations already. We have done how to solve the equations, linear equations and all that stuff. Also splitting the middle term. So you are comfortable with splitting the middle term? Today, discriminant method. So we'll talk about those quadratic equations where splitting is either difficult or the areas where you are not able to identify that this can be solved using splitting the middle term. All right, perfect, Athar, perfect. All right, chalo. Let's start then. Okay, let's start. So we'll be taking care of 2 things: discriminant method and of course conditions of D. Right. Slowly, of course, Sangram. Slowly, right? So guys, discriminant method. What is discriminant method? Any idea? Or before discriminant method, any idea what is quadratic equation? Quadratic equation. So we have already talked about the linear equation, right? So we have talked about equations like this: 2x plus 3y equals to 7, right? These are linear equations, correct? Now when we talk about linear equations, the power of the variables is 1. Nothing is mentioned, that is 2x to the power 1, right? X is 1x. But suddenly, when we have power of variable as 2, so the maximum power when becomes 2, it becomes a quadratic equation, right? Of course, a cannot be 0. Why a cannot be 0? Because if the coefficient of x square becomes 0, the equation becomes something like this. And of course, this eventually turns out to be 0 and this becomes bx plus c equals to 0. So this is not a quadratic equation and hence a linear equation. So that is why, remember, a cannot be equal to 0. So first thing first, quadratic equation is of the form ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equals to 0. Now guys, can you tell me what is a? A is coefficient of x square, right? A is coefficient of x square. Similarly, b, it is coefficient of x, and this c is the constant term. Constant term simply means the term which is free of variable, which is free of x, right? Now we're going to go ahead and talk about some formulas. You will have to remember those formulas, but before we jump into the formulas, let's just check whether you are able to identify A, B, C right or not. All right. So I'm going to give you some equations. You're going to tell me what is the value of A, B and C. All right. So if I give you an equation like 2x square minus 3 minus 5x equals to 0. Quickly tell me what is the value of A, what is the value of B, what is the value of C. Then tell me for this equation 2x square equals to 7. What is the value of A? What is the value of B? What is the value of C? Come on, try. Let's check. Now, many people are not able to apply the formula later on properly. Why? Because they don't understand what is A, B and C. So remember, A is not the first number, B is not the second number, C is not the third number. They have a specific meaning, right? A is a coefficient of x square, the number attached to x square, behind the x square, all right? So coefficient of x square is A, which is 2, whereas B is coefficient of x, not minus 3. What is the coefficient of x? not 5, minus 5. And the constant term is the term free of x. This is the term free of x, that's minus 3. Did you get it? Yes, did you get it? So if you feel that b is minus 3, you're wrong. First mistake that happens when we are going too fast. What about this one? If I talk about this one, a is 2 fine, b is 0 fine, no term of x. But if you write down c as 7, you are wrong. C has to be minus 7. First, you correct this quadratic equation. This is 2x square minus 7 equals to 0, right? So be careful that you don't end up making these kind of mistakes. Comfortable? Guys, comfortable? Are you able to identify what is A, what is B, what is C? Let's make it a little more complicated if you're comfortable till here. Let's make it a little more comfortable, more complicated, so that when the formula comes later, you don't, misjudge things. Okay. All right. So guys, what about this one? If I tell you, let us say mx square plus nx plus x plus 1 equals to 0. What is the value of A, B, and C? Come on, try. So what's A, B, and C here? A again, the coefficient of x square. I guess that's very simple. That's M. Fine. But what about B? The coefficient of x, right? So the coefficient of x is not n and not 1, not n and 1. You have to simplify the equation first. Take x common, and what you will get? N plus 1, right or not? Are you guys comfortable with this? So if I take x common, n remains, plus x is out, that means 1 remains. So now the coefficient of x, or the number attached to x, is n plus 1, and c of course is 1. Comfortable or not, guys? Right? Easy. So will you be able to identify the coefficients of x square, x, and the constant term? So I'll write it down here. A is always coefficient of x square, B is coefficient of x, and C is constant term. Three mistakes people generally make. Sometimes they forget to make the right hand side 0. Sometimes they forget about this sign, they write it down as 5. Third mistake, they just write it in the order. They feel A is 2, B is minus 3, C is minus 5. Sometimes they don't take the things common. So I hope you are comfortable with all these things and you will not make a mess, right? Now, first thing first, now you know what is A, B, and C. If yes, write down, go in the chat. I'll go ahead and let's start learning discriminant method. Let's start knowing some formulas. Yes? Perfect. Go. Give me a go. Very nice. Perfect. All right, guys. Now, this is a quadratic equation. We have already learned how to solve these kind of equations in the last lectures, right? Splitting the middle term. So I want you to solve this using splitting the middle term first, so that once we apply the discriminant method, we can check whether we are getting the same answers or not, right? So the idea is, go ahead quickly, solve this using your basic splitting the middle term method. Try. Normal splitting, 5 and 4, right? Two numbers, that adds up, get me a 9, product 20. So I know that the answer to this equation is 5 and 4. Now suppose I was not able to solve this using splitting the middle term. Let us say I was not able to identify the right factors, right, which can sum up to 9 or product to 20. Then what is the other method that I have? That is discriminant method. Now how to solve it using discriminant method, we will understand. First thing, you will have to learn a formula, that is d is equals to b square minus 4ac. Now what is this d? Why this is called discriminant? We'll talk about that. You eventually will figure it out on yourself why this is called discriminant. But for now, remember this, where a, b, c have their usual meaning, the coefficient of x square, x and constant term. Go ahead and calculate the d for this equation. Go ahead, guys. What will be the value of D? B square. What is B? What is B? The value of B is not 9, minus 9. So can I say minus 9 square? Minus 4a. What is a? Coefficient of x square, that is 1. What is c? The constant term which is free of x. So can I say 81 minus 80 or 1? Yes or no? So is everybody comfortable in finding out D? Now why this is called as D or discriminant, we'll know that later, right? But are you able to find out what is the value of D? It's not going to be plus minus 1, it's going to be 1, right? Exact one, 81 minus 80, right? Now the next step, we'll be able to find out the roots, right? So these two values of x which satisfies these equations are called as roots or zeros of the equation, all right? Now let us say if I call the roots as alpha and beta, so alpha is minus b plus root d by 2a and beta is minus b minus root d by 2a. D you have already calculated. A and b have their usual meaning. So go ahead and calculate the roots and check whether they come out to be 5 and 4 again or not. Check. Other is straight out from Instagram, I guess. So other, yes, I remember my password now. Try this one. Same, you're getting the same. So if I try to calculate alpha, alpha comes out to a minus b. That means minus of minus 9, right? B was minus 9 plus root d. Square root of 1 is 1, not plus minus 1. Square root is always a positive quantity. Square root of 1, 1. Divide by 2a. 2 into coefficient of x square is 1, right? So 9 plus 1, 10 by 2, that's a 5. Similarly, beta, again you get minus of minus 9. Now I'm doing it directly. 9 minus 1 upon 2. So that's 8 by 2 and hence a 4. Comfortable, guys? So can we solve the quadratic equation even if we are not able to figure out the right factors? So if we are not able to apply the splitting middle term method, can we solve using the discriminant method? We just need to remember two things. One is the formula for D, that's b square minus 4ac. We very well know how to find out a, b and c. And then the simple formula of alpha and beta. Very similar. The only difference you have is this sign. Yes or no? Minus b plus root d by 2a minus b minus root d by 2a. Once you are comfortable, give me a go signal. You need to remember that. And then we'll see that how the theory revolve around this little number or this little alphabet D, why this is called as discriminant. But for now, are we comfortable to go ahead and find out the solution of any quadratic equation now? Yes? Perfect. Very nice. Okay, guys. Now, before we go ahead, a little practice. Calculate the roots here. Calculate the value of D first, then alpha, and then beta. D, alpha, beta. Right? And then we'll try a typical one. So once you're done with this, now let me know in the chat. I'll give you a difficult one. Koina. Koina, are you from Elite? Are you from Elite batch? Huh? Did we meet on Thursday for the Elite batch? I feel that I remember your name from the chat. Sangram, I get to see you on the lectures. That's nice. Perfect, perfect. All right. So Koina, stay till the end. One or two questions might be same as those as that class, but you'll do many new questions today. You'll get to do a lot of practice of that particular session, right? So D comes out to a minus 2 square, that is 4, minus 4ac, a is 1, c is minus 12. Ultimately, I guess 4 plus 48, 52, right? So everybody getting the D as 52? Fantastic. What about alpha and beta? Alpha is minus b. Now we'll be a little faster. So minus of minus 2, that is 2, plus root d upon 2a, that is 2, minus b minus root d upon 2a, that is 2. Comfortable? Easy. Now a little faster. If you want, you can simplify this, right? 52. What is root 52? Can we factorize this? Yes, it is 4 into 13. 4 can come out, become 2, because 2 square is 4. So 2 root 13. So can I write down this guy as 2 plus 2 root 13 by 2? And this guy has 2 minus 2 root 13 by 2. Ultimately 2 will cancel and you'll get the answer as 1 plus root 13, 1 minus root. Perfect. Try this one, guys. Now this is a little difficult. So try this one. And if anybody is struggling with this one, you can let me know. Okay, I'll re-explain. Meanwhile, those who have done can go ahead and try that one. 1 plus root 13, 1 minus root 13. Good, great. Try this one. Now this involves taking things common, playing with the variables. Try this. If you get the D, let me know, okay? Then later we jump to alpha and beta. Try. Once you get D, let me know, that I'm sure you're not making any mistakes. Okay. We'll have to check. Karan, what is the value of D that came out to be? The first thing is this in the right form? Can I write down A, B, and C clearly using it? No. We have to take the things as common, right? So first thing, let's take down some things common. So if I see this x is, if I take, let us say, x common, this becomes what? Plus x, this becomes minus b plus 1, right? Comfortable or not? So if you take x common, you get a minus b here and a plus 1 here. And eventually you can go ahead and write it down as x square plus x 1 minus b equals to 0. Yes or no? So this is the first thing we have to do, that we write down it in a format such that identifying A, B, C is easy for me. Now comes the value of D. B square, that means this square, right? Minus 4, A is 1, the coefficient of x square. C is minus B. So we need to calculate this. Yes. Check. So solve it, resolve this. What are you getting? Check. Do you remember the property of A minus B whole square from school days? I guess, do you remember? Forgotten. Do you remember the property? A minus B whole square is A square plus B square minus 2AB. That will be implied, right? That is the property we'll have to apply here. So 1 A square plus B square is plus B square minus 2 into 1 into B is minus 2B. And this one is minus turns plus 4B. So 1 plus B square plus 2B. So what is the value of D? So what is 1 plus B square plus 2B or B square plus 2B plus 1? Check. So do you realize what it is? Huh? Do you recognize? 1 plus B square plus 2B. What it is? If I write down this as 1 square, no problem. So A square plus B square plus 2 into A into B, isn't it? Can I say that this is 1 plus B whole square? Right? Correct? So the D turns out to be 1 plus B whole square. Now comes alpha. Alpha is minus B, that means minus of this plus root D That means root of this is 1 plus b upon 2a. This is your alpha. Try and calculate. Be careful of the signs. So I told you this one is a tough one, right? Just checks you on basic identities, how well you handle algebra, how much afraid you are from these A, B, C. This question is just checking that. Otherwise, the method here and the method here is exactly same. No change. Yes or no? So what's the value here? This becomes minus 1 minus minus plus b plus 1 plus b upon 2. Coefficient of x square is 1, so 2. Minus 1 gets cancelled, so you get 2b by 2 and hence b. How many of you got alpha as b? That means you are good with algebraic manipulation. Everybody getting the alpha as b, that means you're doing good. You are good with algebraic manipulation. You won't face challenge in a cat algebra. You will not be required to handle more algebraic simplification than this, right? Perfect. What about the beta, guys? Again, minus b, that means minus of 1 minus b, minus root d, square root of this will take away the square upon 2a. Coefficient of x square is 1. Fine. So this is minus 1 plus b minus 1 minus b upon 2. This time the b gets cancelled and you get minus 2 by 2 and that's minus 1. So how many of you got alpha as b and beta as minus 1? Crazy, right? Got it? So guys, I hope you will be able to calculate d, alpha and beta even in a simple case like this, even in a complicated case like this, right? So Koina comfortable now, Sangram comfortable now, Atharv comfortable now. So that means you can solve any quadratic equation even if splitting applies, even if it does not apply. Correct? Superb. Perfect. So now we can calculate the roots or zeros, whatever you say. We can find out d, we can find out alpha and beta, but now the point is why this guy is called d or discriminant, right? Let's try to understand. Here are three equations. What I want from you is to go ahead and calculate the value of d for all the three equations, and let's go ahead and try to understand the mystery behind this little punk d. Go ahead, quickly try to find out d here and we'll realize a very beautiful thing. We'll get to the definition of discriminant now. Try. And then we'll do some good questions. Then the base is ready. D is 36, fantastic. So 4 square 16, minus 4 into minus 5 is plus 20. Now you guys are fast, that's great. D is 36. What about D here? B square 16, minus 4 into 4 is 16, that's 0. And what about this one? 4 square 16, minus 4 into 10 is 40, that's minus 24. Everybody getting the same values? Check the calculations. Getting the same values? Perfect. Now guys, do one thing. Try to calculate the value of alpha over here and beta over here and you will realize a beautiful thing. What's the value of alpha here? It's a minus b, that means minus of minus 4 plus root d, that is 0, square root of 0 is 0, upon 2, that's 2. Minus b minus square root of d upon 2, again comes out. What happened, guys? Strange thing happened. Both of them came out to be 2. Why they came out to be 2? Can you realize? The only difference which we had in the formula of alpha and beta was this guy. Remember? Minus b plus root d minus b minus root d. So minus b was same, 2a was same. The only difference was here you were adding the root d, here you were subtracting the root d. Now if you go ahead and make d 0, how would the things change? Because if I add a 0 or subtract a 0, no change. So do we realize one thing, that if it d turns out to be 0, then roots will become a real and equal, they will come. It's not that we'll not be able to solve the equation, it will come, but ultimately we'll get real and equal roots, right? So that means one root only, correct? Solve this one, what happens? So if I try to solve this one, what happens, guys? So no real root. Why? Because now when you go ahead and apply minus 4 plus root d, we get minus 24 in the under root, right? We get minus 4 minus under root minus 24 in the under root, and then we cannot further solve it. So square root cannot have a negative inside, and we know that R alpha and beta both are going to have a negative something inside the square root if d becomes negative. Yes or no? So what do we realize? That if d turns out to be negative, then root d will become negative, then root d will become root of negative. That means the thing will become undefined. So can we say no real root? Or in cat, can we say zero roots, because cat only deals with real numbers? So do you realize that if d comes out to be 0, we get real and equal, that means one root. D comes out to be negative, we get no real root, that means 0 root. And if d is 36, then you will be able to get proper roots like we have got in the previous questions which we solved. Yes or no? Now you'll get. We'll go ahead and calculate. Minus of minus 4 becomes 4, plus root d is root 36, which is 6. We get a good 5. Minus b minus root d by 2, that's a minus 2 by 2, that's a minus 1. Simple, isn't it? So now do you know why this is called discriminant? Because this guy discriminates between the quadratic equation. So D is that particular discriminant which actually helps us to discriminate between or among the quadratic equation, and helps us to know whether our quadratic equation is going to have a 0 root, 1 root, or 2 roots. So this is the case of real and distinct roots. Is it clear, guys? Why this is called discriminant? Because this discriminate among the quadratic equation. What does it discriminate? It tells us whether the quadratic equation will have 2 root, 1 root, or 0 root, real distinct, real equal, or a no real roots. Comfortable? So now the question will be asked. Suddenly the question will go ahead and say the particular equation has a no real root. So what is our responsibility? We will see no real root. So we will go ahead and put this condition d less than 0. If the question says that you have real and equal roots, we understand that okay, real equal roots, that means d must have been 0. Or if we say that you have real and distinct roots, we'll go and put this equation or inequality, right? So now the idea is the line real and equal roots, no real roots, real and distinct roots is basically a mathematical equation or a mathematical inequality for us. Now my question to you is, if the question says the quadratic equation has real roots, what will be the equation you will form? Real and distinct, you will write this. Real and equal, you will write this. No real root, you will write this. But if the question says real roots, what will you write? The question says real roots, what would you write? Yes, d greater than equal to 0, right? If the question says real roots, you will go ahead and say d greater than equal to 0, because that is in the middle. Here also you get real, here also you get real. Here real distinct, here real equals. This is for real roots. So guys, are you ready to do some questions now? just on this much theory, right? This is the first foundation of discriminant method. I ready to do some questions now. Perfect. It's time for practice. Let's go, guys. This is a quick summary about all this thing, whatever we have discussed. Right, showed it in the batch as well, so you also have it. All the condition, what is ax square plus bx plus c is a quadratic equation, db square minus 4ac. Conditions of d, how to apply the formula, and then one example. You can see it later. Okay, I'll share the notes in my Telegram group. Okay, try this question. Question 1. So the questions are good, all right? Spend some time. Try to get them on your own. Not kept options so that you don't make a wild guess. The idea is that you get the right answers on your own. You can find the answers without the options, then you will definitely be able to do with the options. I don't just want today to plug in numbers. K comes out to be 16, all right, but I don't need K. I need the roots of the equation x square minus kx plus 4k equal to 4. So, if the equation this has one solution, find the roots of the equation this. The question is saying x square minus 8x plus k equals to 0 has one solution. Okay, and we need to solve this equation. And we clearly can observe that we cannot solve this equation until and unless we have k. The first thing is to find out k. What is k? I guess we can find out using this. So one solution, guys. What should be the condition for one solution? What should be the condition for one solution? The condition for one solution is t equals to 0. That means b square minus 4ac equals to 0. Or we can also directly say b square equals to 4ac. Now let's put b is minus 8. So minus 8 square 64. Equals to 4. A is coefficient of x square, nothing, that means 1. C is the constant term free of x, that is k. 4 1 ja 4 16 ja. I hope everybody got k as 16, right? Correct. So k as 16. Now if k is 16, let's put it over here. X square minus 16x plus 16 for the 64 equals to 4. Now don't tell me and say this is A, this is B, this is C. Here you don't have a 0. First make this 0. This is the quadratic equation, yes or no, guys? Now it is totally up to you whether you wish to apply splitting or discriminant method. Can you think of splitting? If yes, do it using splitting the middle term. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and start applying D. But can we find out using splitting the middle term? Yeah. So two numbers that sum up to 16 and product to 60. Yes, 6 and 10. Easy. Right, we'll do it splitting method. What was the splitting method? Two numbers sum up to 16 and product to 60. Can I think of two numbers? Yes. We have learned this method in the last class. So x comes out to be 10 and x comes out to be 6. This is the answer you're looking for, right? Easy. Comfortable? Perfect. Nice. Let's try one more question, guys, to see how it actually utilize this particular concept of one solution with a quadratic equation solving, right? Correct. Somebody of you was saying no real solution, guys. Please check. Solution will come and there'll be 10 and 6, right? Be careful you don't make a mess of this one. Try. So let's go. Try. All right, so maximum value of k, positive integral for which the equation has real solution. So condition for real solution. So if I'm looking for a real solution, that means I want a d greater than or equal to 0, right? Even equality is allowed. So that means b square minus 4ac is greater than equal to 0, or b square greater than equal to 4ac. Now let's start applying. B square is this, 5 square, that is 25, greater than equals to 4, a is 1, c is k. So 25 is greater than equal to 4k. This 4 comes down, that means k comes out to be less than 25 by 4, or k comes out to be less than 6.25. So k is something which is less than 6.25. So what is the highest value that does not surpass this and should be an integer? 6, right? So the highest integer I can give k is 6, right? So this is the best I can do for k, that I'll make it 6, and still my inequality holds true. I cannot put it 7, won't work for me. 5 will be less than 6. I'm looking for the highest value of k. So k max value of k to make my inequality still true is 6, right? So the k max value should be 6 as it is an integer, right? Comfortable? Let's try one more. What do you say? Let's try one more. Let's go. Again, so testing you on a condition of real solution. All right, guys, try this one. I hope the elite people are now very, very comfortable with this. For you, it is a good revision. You just did this on Thursday, right, Koina? Now you'll be very comfortable with these things. The students straight from the elite batch. Some more different kind of questions we have practiced. I guess you must be very, very comfortable. So we'll meet for further quadratic equation difficult areas on Thursday. You will be very, very comfortable. Nice. Good, you're taking out time for attending these classes. Will be very, very helpful. Don't even realize now. Try this. Right, Karan. Can you give us the range? You have given us the answer, but can you give us the range? What are those values? You're saying 8 is the answer. What are those 8 positive integral values that are allowed? Can you tell us? 2 to 9, including 2 and 9, right? That's how you come down to 8. Okay. 8 values, all right. So Varsha is also there. Instagram also there. So let's try to figure it out. Number of positive integral values of k for which the equation this has real solutions and this has no solution. So this guy has real solution. That means again, we don't know real and equal or real and distinct. That means d greater than equals to 0, b square minus 4ac greater than equal to 0, b square greater than equal to 4ac. Now let's put in the value. So I always do it till here, then I put in values. I don't want to keep any minus and all right in the inequalities, it trouble otherwise. So b square, 6 square, that's 36, greater than equals to 4, is coefficient of x square, that's 1, c is k. So what we know is that k is less than equal to 9. So k cannot surpass 9 but can be equal to 9. What about that? And this has no solution. No solution means the d over here is less than 0. Now again, b square minus 4ac is less than 0. b square is less than 4ac. b square is 2 square, that is 4. Less than 4a is 1. C is K. So 4 and 4 gets cancelled. K is greater than 1. So now guys, the idea is K cannot be equal to 1. It has to be greater than 1. So it will start from 2, isn't it? 1 is not allowed. Correct or not? Yes, Hindi new batch will be there very soon. Right? Wait till next week and you'll get the news. So K is greater than 1. Right? So the value of K starts from 2. It cannot take 1. Must be greater than 1. 2, 3, 4. But the equality exists at 9. K is less than or equal to 9. So 2 to 9, that means 8 values, right? 9 minus 2, 7 plus 1, right? 8 values. Achha, what will be the answer if I add over here as real and distinct? Now what will be the answer? Will it change or stay the same? Just this one word if I add, right? If I only add this one word, will the answer remain the same or will it change? Then 7 is the answer. Why? What will happen, Karan? Tanishka? Then this 9 won't come, right? Then the equality won't come. Perfect. That means you guys are spot on. You have understood. Let's try one more question. Elite students must have seen this one. Those who have not seen can try. Good, nice, good guys. Great. Good. The concepts are very clear. I'm very happy. You understood. You will handle it. We will have one more subsequent class of this particular topic and we'll talk about a game of roots that will happen on this channel also, and for elite we'll have that on Thursday. Perfect. Nice. All right. And you're from Pioneer, I guess, right? Pioneer student, right? Perfect. So what happens here, guys? Nice. Koina, did you do this on your own today? No help required? On that day, I guess many of you were stuck on this question, but today you are able to do it on your own. That means you're learning well, right? Perfect. So good, guys. Great. All right. So this has real and equal solutions. So guys, what should be the condition we should apply? Real and equal solutions. That means c is equals to 0. That means b square minus 4ac is equals to 0. That means b square equals to 4ac. Perfect. Nice. Okay. Perfect. Now, b square is b means the coefficient of x. That means minus 2b. Minus 2b whole square is minus 2 square is 4. B square is b square. Equals to 4. A is the coefficient of x square. C is all the constant terms. Now if you put 7c plus b square, you will be wrong. What is missing, guys? What is missing? In the constant term, what is missing? What should be C? What did I miss? The right hand side was not 0. This will go over there, becomes minus 2a. That is also the part of C. Yes or no? Perfect, guys. You know, when we are in hurry, sometimes we do make these mistakes. Be very careful. So 4 and 4 gets cancelled. We have b square equals to 7c plus b square minus 2a. B square gets cancelled. 2a equals to 7c, right? So we cannot solve it further. What we have so far 2a equal to 7. Now guys, what is next? We need to find out the minimum value of A and C. We know that they are integers. So can you tell me the minimum value of A and C? Huh? Because there is a shortcut for solving that. I'll tell you that, right? Then I'll give you the reasoning as well. The idea is whenever you are down to a equation like this, when the variables are integers, right? And 2 and 7 are co-primes. What is the meaning of co-prime? They cannot be further cancelled, right? I cannot further cancel 2 or 7. And also, I know they are positive integers. In that case, the smallest value of A becomes coefficient of C, and the smallest value of C becomes coefficient of A. So that is a shortcut which you can use, saves a lot of time, right? Why does this happen? The idea is very simple. Have a look. You were here, 2A equals to 7C. So if C comes here, 2 goes there. I'll have A by C equals to 7 by 2. Or that means A is to C is 7 is to 2, right? Ratio. So in that case, you know that I can assume A 7K and C 2K. Now you tell me, I know A is 7K, C is 2K. I know they are integers. What is the smallest possible value? When K turns 1, 7 and 2, right? So instead of doing all this stuff, there is a direct shortcut. Just crisscross the coefficients, you get the minimum possible value of A and C. But make sure you apply that only when these two are co-primes, right? Only work when these two are co-primes. That means they cannot be further cancelled. Most simplified condition, and A and C are integers. Will be very, very handy later on also. Or if you go by the ratio, then here you put K as 1, that means this is 7, this is 2, right? Anyways, the minimum value turns out to be 7 plus 2, that is 9, B for Bartlett. Easy. Oh well, thank you, 𝐁𝐀𝐄𝐄. 9 is the minimum value. Comfortable. So guys, we have done from the very basic to the highest level of question which can be asked just on this particular concept, that is a real solution, a real and equal solution, a real and distinct solution, no real solution. Are you guys comfortable till here? So if you allow, I'll just take it a step further from here. Instead of just the real and unreal and the distinct and the equal solutions. Yeah, can we take it? Perfect. So guys, the idea is when I have this and when I have that equation, things change. What changes? Let's observe. Calculate the D here, guys, and calculate the D here, guys. See what happens. Observe. Before coming to a point or before making a judgment, we should just pause and observe. That's how we understand maths, right? So calculate the D. I'll make you observe one very beautiful thing. Towards the D here, 49 minus 48, D comes out to be 1. What's D here? 4. 4 plus 28, I guess 32, right? Perfect. Now what happens, guys? Here our D is 1. Very beautiful. Why do you say this is beautiful, sir? Because when I go ahead and say alpha, it becomes minus B, that is 7, plus root D, root of 1 becomes 1. And see how beautiful roots do I get. Yes or no? Very beautiful roots. They are both rational, right? There is no square root over there. When there is no square root, they are rational roots, right? So what are these roots? These are rational roots. What do I mean by rational roots? No square roots, right? So I don't have any square root terms in my final answer, right? No square root terms. We cannot see any symbol like this. We are happy. But what about here, guys? When you go ahead and find alpha, it becomes minus B, that's 2, plus root 32. And we start becoming sad. Yes or no? Correct? So do you observe something? That if my A, B, C are the rational numbers where there is no root, then the only guy which can end up making the value of x irrational. What do I mean by irrational? The one with the square roots is d. Yes or no? So if my d comes out to be a number bad like 32, I'll never be able to calculate the square root of it, or it will never come out of the square root, and our root till the end of the day will always have something like this root into it. And when it has a root into it, that means we will have irrational root. Yes or no, guys? So if I tell you that I have one equation ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, I tell you that a, b, c were rational, no square root was seen in them, and if d comes out to be 49, d comes out to be 18, d comes out to be 36, d comes out to be 45, can you tell me in which of these cases you will get rational roots and which of these cases you will get irrational roots? Can you tell me that? Huh? Can you tell me where I get rational and where I get irrational root? That means where by the end I calculate, simplify, I'll get a value of alpha or beta which was free of square root, and where I'll get the value of alpha and beta that won't be free of square root. A rational in A and C, right? Perfect, guys. So here you will get rational, here you will get rational, right? So here and here you are gonna get rational. Now you tell me why. Why you will get rational here and irrational here? Why? Because because D is a perfect square, and when this fellow 36 and 49 goes inside the square root and makes root D, it will come out as 6 and 7 and square root will be gone. Yes or no? Whereas when 18 and 45 goes inside the square root, they will stay inside. They will never be able to come out entirely. Yes or no? Comfortable or not? So now this little thing will be used. Now it's not just about real and distinct solution, a real and equal solution, unreal solution. It is also about rational solution. So when the question says you have rational roots, given that A, B, C were rational, you will say that, wait a minute, D is a perfect square. Otherwise, there is no chance that we end up getting rational root. Yes or no? Correct? So let's go ahead and see how a question would like try it out. So this has distinct and rational roots, right? How many positive integral values can P take? How many? Okay, the good one. So as soon as you see distinct rational, your mind says that, okay, one is D definitely has to be greater than 0. Because you're getting the roots, you are getting distinct roots. Fine. But now it is also rational. That means T is a perfect square. Yes or no? This much is known to us about D. Correct? The more we know about D, the more equations we can make for P. So D is greater than 0 and D is a perfect square. Everybody agrees? Guys, does everybody agree with these two? That D has to be a greater than 0 guy. Otherwise, I'm not gonna get the roots. It has to be a perfect square guy. Otherwise, I'll never get rational roots. Right? So let's first figure out D greater than 0. That means B square minus 4AC greater than 0 or B square greater than 4AC. B square means minus 5. Minus 5 square is 25 greater than 4. A is coefficient of x square. C is the constant term, that's P by 2. 2 gets cancelled by this and we get 25 greater than 2P and hence P less than 25 by 2, that is 12.5. That is one thing, right? Nice. But that is just one thing. So if I do it like this, fine. There's something more. How would I use this particular thing? D is a perfect square. Let's check it again. Now guys, see what happens. I know D is equals to B square minus 4AC. I know B square is 25. Minus 4, A is 1, C is again P by 2. Gets cancelled. So I know it is 25 minus 2P. Can you tell me the highest value D can take? Think. Can you tell me the highest value D can take? I know it is greater than 0, so I know the minimum value it can take, right? Ultimately, it has to be an integer. D is 25 minus integer, so D is an integer. That is what I know. So D will start from 1. What is the highest value D can take? Can you tell me? Think highest value D can take. We'll talk about perfect square later. Let's forget about this part. How many values D can take? One thing is sure, D is 25 minus something positive. Yes or no? This guy is positive for sure. Right? Why? Because it is giving us how many positive integer values of P can take. So we are looking for positive P. So can I say that D is definitely less than 25? 25 minus positive will be less than 25. Yes or no? So now I mean I'm looking for greater than 0, less than 25 and a perfect square. What are the possible values of D, guys? Think. You are looking for a D which is greater than 0, which is less than 25 and a perfect square. Think of the numbers. Tell me the numbers which are greater than 0, less than 25, that means lying between 0 and 25, and are perfect square also. What are those values? 1, 4, 9 and 16. Perfect. So these are the only values that satisfies all the conditions that lie between 0 and 25, because D has to lie between 0 and 25 and is a perfect square. But now the point is I have calculated the possible values of D but not P. So now calculate the possible values of P and see where do you get positive integers, where you don't, right? So this is useless now, right? This gives us nothing this time. So when it comes about the rational roots, no point of getting the possible values of P like this. This won't work. That would work. Finding the minimum D, the maximum D, and applying the perfect square. Now we know these are the 4 possible values of D. And we know that D is 25 minus 2P. So either 25 minus 2P becomes 1, or 25 minus 2P becomes 4, or 25 minus 2P becomes 9, or 25 minus 2P becomes 16. Check where you get P as positive integer and where you don't get P as positive integer. Check. If you solve this, you will get a 2P as 25 minus 1, 24. You will get P as 12. Allowed. Possible. That means D eventually can become 1. That is a possibility. Let's check this. If I solve this, 2p becomes 21, p becomes 10.5. Is this allowed? Is this allowed, guys? Huh? Why is this not allowed? Why is this not allowed? Because this is not an integer. So we are not going to go ahead and randomly say there are 4 possible values of p. No. Now we'll solve this. We get 2p equals to 25 minus 9. That's a 16. So p comes out to be 8. Here we get 9 equals to 2p and p becomes 4.5, not allowed. So how many possible values allowed, guys? P has 8, p has 12. Yes or no? The final answer? 2. So this is a cat level difficult one. Did you get it? How far it can go? Playing with the roots, playing with the d. So d is very important. It discriminates between the kind of solutions a quadratic equation can have. Yup. Yes or no? Right or not, guys? Now, once you are done with number system also, you will not be requiring solving all the 4 equations. Then it is very simple that this is even. They both have to be odd. Otherwise, the answer won't be there. So, odd minus even has to be odd. So, this I won't solve and simply say this is not possible. Think 25 is odd, 2p is even. What is the value of odd minus even, guys? What is the value of odd minus even? Odd or even? What is odd minus even? See, I know that 25 is definitely odd. Minus 2p, which was of course d, that is definitely even. What is odd minus even? Odd. So, did they stand a chance? Did they stand a chance? Huh? Did they even stand a chance? No. So, I won't have done this even in the paper if it comes. I won't be doing it. I'll be saving my time. But today it is important to show you also why it is not possible, because you'll end up in the stuff like that. So once you're done with number system, right, odd and evens, you will get these things further better. You'll be further faster. Did you enjoy, guys? That will be it for the day. Okay, that will be it for the day. Did you enjoy, guys? Did you get the idea of D, what it is all about? It's not just b square minus 4ac. A lot of things of a quadratic equation depends upon that little thing, b square equals to 4ac, right? The nature of D tells us the nature of roots. Isn't it interesting? Yeah, isn't it interesting? That's it, guys. That would be it for the day. I'll be seeing you for the next lecture. I hope you keep learning that way. If you enjoyed the lecture, do let me know in the comments. Take care and enjoy. You have the theory, you have the things. Just make the notes of the important things on a piece of paper, stick it on your study table. What should your white paper or the yellow paper notes have? They should have simple things: formula of D, formula of alpha, formula of beta. They should have D greater than 0, real and distinct root. D equals to 0, real and equal roots. T less than 0, unreal roots. D greater than equals to 0 for real roots. D perfect square for rational roots if ABC rational, right? Keep writing those short notes. By the end of your preparation, you will have a fat book having all these key points, and that is going to be your saver or lifesaver or a quant saver in November. Start building it from now. Take care. All the best. Yes, okay, Sangram, for sure.